Hi, welcome to episode 3 of the Django and React series. So in this episode, we are going to learn routing, how to route from one page to another. So currently, we are on the home page. So we can route to the detail page if we want to. So currently now we are on the detail page. If you click on this, if you click on this author's name, if you click on it, and you can see right now we are on the user's profile page, right? So I'm going to show you how we can route between these pages. So far, this is what we've done so far. Currently, we only have the home page. We can't route to the detail page yet. So I'm going to show you how that is being done. You will learn that in this video. And if you check closely, we have the navbar and the footer. They are all on every page. So you check, if you have the navbar on the home page, if you go down to your detail page, you can see the navbar and the footer are still there. If you go down to your login page, the navbar and the footer are still there. So I'm going to show you how to configure your navbar and footer to make it available on all your pages. So you're going to learn about that in this episode. So without further ado, let's get started. So back to our code. Back to the code. And remember, the source code to every episode is linked in the video's description. So for every episode, you have the source code. You have the source code for that episode in the video's description. So do well to check it out. So right now, we are going to go over to our app.gxs component. That's our parent component. So you can see here we have the navbar, the header. This is the header here, this region, this image here. I call it header, right? And this is our block container. The block container is holding the individual block cards. So back to our app component, we have the navbar, the header, and block container. So right now we are going to create a new component called home page. And this component is going to hold the header and block container, right? So we are going to do that right now. So back to our code now. We have to create a new folder in the source folder. We are going to create a new folder in the source folder, and the name of this folder is going to be called pages. So I'll say new folder. I'm going to call it pages. So this pages folder is going to hold all our different pages. So we have the home page, the detail page, the sign up page. We have up to 6 pages on this project. So right now I'm going to create our first page, which is the home page. I'm going to say new file. We'll say home page.jxx. So if you gain value so far, do well to smash the subscribe button. And right now we're going to create a new. Right now we're going to generate our boilerplate code with the React snippets. So right now I've got a new. Right now you can see now we have a new home page component. So I'm going to simply bring in the header and the block container into the home page components. That's where they are meant to be. So I've brought them here. So we have to import header and block container, right? So so remember the trick. Just remove some text from header and try typing it back. Try typing it back. You're going to see the suggestion. Click on it. As for block container, remove some texts and then try typing it back slowly. You're going to get a suggestion to import it. Right now we have our own page now. Our own page is, as for the home page, we are going to use a React fragment to wrap it. We're going to use React fragment, not a div, right? So we're going to enclose it in a React fragment and not a div. Okay, so we've got this now. Okay, perfect. Our home page is ready. So back to our page now. Let's see what we have. Right now you can see we only have the navbar and the footer. The home page is gone. So don't worry, we are going to configure that later. So right now we're going to create another page called DetailPage. DetailPage.jxx. So right now this is what our detail page looks like. So we click here. What was happening? So here's our detail page where you can read more on the blog. You get, so here's here is how the detail page looks like, right? So I already have the code built out. So right now we're going to say RAFCE, it's enter, and just here pasting the code for our detail page. Yeah, it's a simple code. If you check closely now, the detail page has some components like the badge, the blog writer. So we already have this badge component. We already have it. Understand? This is what the badge this is the badge components here. This badge you see here is also on the home page. We also have it here. So just simply import the badge component into the detail page. Badge. Okay, there is a suggestion. So right now we are going to create a new component called blog writer. Blog writer. Back to your UI components folder. We're going to create a new file called blog writer.jxx. Oh, it says blog writer.jxx. The name is not valid as a file name or folder name. Choose a different name. What's wrong? It says the name is not valid. Let's try again. New file. Blog writer.jxx. Okay, it has been created now. RAFCE. Come on. So right now I'm going to get the code for our blog writer. I have to get the code. So I've gotten the code now. But before I paste it, let me show you what the blog writer component looks like. So back here, here's our blog writer. There's a blog writer component. This part that holds the author's picture, the author's name, and the date the blog was created, right? So right now, back to our code now, pasting the code for the blog writer components. So that is it. Here is it now. So the blog writer needs an image. So we have to import this pic image. So I'm going to just say import pic from. So we're going to go into we're going to come out of the UI components folder. We'll come out of it, and then we're going to go into images. And we have a folder in the images folder. We have an image in the images folder called pic.jpg. So that's the name now. So that's where we had to import this pic image from. So back to our detail page. Let's import blog writer. You know the trick now. I'm going to say just type it in slowly to get your components. Here is a suggestion. Click on it, and we have our blog writer imported. As for the banner image, the banner image is coming from our images folder, and it's called detailbanner.jpg. Detailbanner.jpg. Come on. Okay, here's the image. Just close it. So back to our detail page. Let's import this banner. I'll say import banner from. We're going to come out of the pages folder and go into images, and the image name is called detailbanner.jpg. So that's it. So we've gotten our detail page sets. We have our home page ready. We have the detail. We also have our detail page ready. And lastly, let's work on the profile page. Understand? Let's work on it quickly. So back here, over to your pages folder, create a new file called ProfilePage.jxx and hit enter. So I'm going to say RAFCE. Come on. Yep. So we've got the profile. We're working on the profile page now. So our profile page needs a component called hero. This part here is the hero component. This part that contains the author's name, the author's bio, and social media links is called the hero component. So we're going to create a new component called hero. Back here, back to your UI components folder. I'm going to create a new component called, say new file and say hero.jxx. It's enter. I'm going to say RAFCE. Come on. Yeah, so right now I'm going to simply get the code for our hero components. So now I've gotten the code for the hero component. I'll paste it in here. So we've got the code already. So right now we have to also import this pic image again up here. I'm going to say import pic from. We're going to come out of the UI components folder and go into images. I'm going to say the image name is called pic.jpg. Right, so we've got this now. So what's next? We also need to import all these React icons. So I'll just simply copy the import statement and paste on top. So back here, pasting the React icons. Yeah, so we've got them. So right now we've got our hero component set. So we're going to go over to our profile page now. So we're going to use a React fragment, right? React fragments. And right now we're going to put in the hero components, hero. So just as for me, what's wrong? Yeah. And then we're going to then put in our block container. The block container is what you see on that. Here's the block container, right? There's the block container, this region. So just put in the block container. So suggest this for me. So I'm typing here it is. Click on it. Yeah, so we've got our profile page set. So right now, we've go out to our projects. We still have only the navbar and the footer. So how do we configure? How do we go from right now? We have all our pages ready, but as you can see, we are not having it. As you can see now, the page is just showing only the navbar and the footer. So how do we navigate between the pages already created? How do we navigate across the pages we have? So we're going to work on that next. Okay, so right now it's time for us to route our pages. So we're going to install an external library called React Router DOM. So we have to install a new library called React Router DOM. So I'm going to open a new command prompt. So open a new command prompt, and then we're going to run. So the command is called, I'm going to say npm install React Router DOM. Hit enter. So while it is installing, so back to our app components. So in the app components, we are not meant to have any of the components in our app components. They are not meant to be there. So we are going to create a separate parents component. We are going to create a new parents component. And over to your UI components folder, create a new file called app layouts.jxx. So this app layout is going to serve as one new parent component. You get, so because we are not meant to have, if you are building a multi-page application with React.js, you are not meant to have any of your components in the app components like this. You get, so right now I've made a new parent component called app layout. So this app layout will hold all our various components, and I'll show you how right now. So right now, I already have the React Router DOM package installed. It has been installed already. So right now, over to our app layouts, over to the app layouts components. So we are going to generate our usual boilerplates using the React snippets. So we've got it there. So right now, what we're going to do, simple. So right now, we're going to just simply replace the div with a main tag. Yeah. And we're gonna give it this. We're gonna give it this class name. Yeah. So remember, I remember I spoke about this dark tag we have here. This dark simply means that whenever our site is in dark mode, give it this background color we have here. This background color that is here. That's what the tag means. This dark tag means. As for this one, this is the width. This is full width. This is a background color of something similar to white. So, okay, now we've got our main, right now, so now let's complete the app layout. So in the app layout, we are going to have our navbar, right? Let's import it. What's happening? Navbar, come on, suggest it. Yeah, here it is. And we are going to then have the footer. These are the two global components, right? The navbar and the footer, because they are on all pages, right? So if we have our navbar and the footer now, so what's the next thing now? So we have to, what about the pages in between? What about the pages in between the navbar and the footer? These are the right now. These pages, right now. These pages, for example, the home page is in between the navbar and the footer. This is a profile page rather. So the home page is also in between the navbar and the footer. So how do we configure this? So React Router DOM gave us a package called outlets. So we are going to put the outlets in between the navbar and the footer. It is called outlets. It is from React Router DOM. Outlets, come on. Yeah, so here is the suggestion from React Router DOM. Click on it. So now this outlet represents all our pages in between the navbar and the footer. That's what the outlet represents. So we've got this set now. So what's the next phase? So we have our app layout. So back to our app components, we are going to simply clear out everything here, because you are not meant to have your components in your app you're not meant to have your components in the app components. Hope you get. So right now we're going to use our browser router from React Router DOM. It's called browser router. So you can see the suggestion here. Click on it, and then it's right now close it. You're going to have our route double, it has a X. So we have to import routes from React Router DOM. Just paste it here. And we also need the routes. We also need the routes, the singular routes. So the singular routes. So yeah, we've got it closed. So the singular route now is going to simply point down to our app layout, to the app layer. So it's our app layouts components. This singular route is going to be the parent routes of every other route. And this route is going to have a path that points to the app layout, to our app layout components. So it's going to have the / that represent the home page, and the elements is going to be pointing to is the app layout component, our new parent element, right? So it's called app layouts. I expect, yeah, that's a suggestion. And make sure it is self-closing. Yes. Let's import routes from React Router DOM also. So now we've got our parent route, which is the app layout. So every other route will come inside of this app layout. So we are going to provide the route for the home page. We're going to say routes. And for example, the home page, for example, now back to where we are here, over here, the home page now is the default page. If you come over to this site, the first page you see is the home page. It is a default page, right? It is a default page inside of the app layout, right? Right. So how do we do that now? To make the home page the default page, just simply put index. We're going to say element should be equal to home page. Yeah, so we're going to close this. So right now, this route now is self-closing. So like this now, home page now, let's simply import home page. Sure, come on, suggest. So here's the imports now. So right now, we're going to add for our detail page, going to say routes. I'm going to say path should be equal to, let's say detail. And the elements is the detail page. Element should be equal to detail page. And detail page, let's try and import the detail page. Come on. Right now, let's do it for the last one for the profile page. We're going to say routes, and the path should be equal to profile, and the element should be equal to profile page. Suggest this for me. Come on. Yep. So now we've got our 3 pages set now. We've got them set, right? So we've got them set now. So to the browser, right? Now we've got our home page back again. So if we go down to /profile, /profile, hit enter. Come on, because we have our profile page. That's good. So now if you go down to /detail, localhost /detail, that's our detail page. Hit enter. Ouch. Our detail page is showing an error. It's not displaying. Go down to the console. It says no routes matched location detail. So we are going to assume later we are going to add the not found page. We are going to add that later. So it's called detail. Spelled it, path should be equal to detail, element should be called detail page. But it's saying no routes. Okay, let's see what the problem is. Hit enter. Come on. Okay, sorry, it's called, it's currently we are on 5174, not 5173. This is on 5173. That was what the problem is. Come on, don't waste my time. So now let's go down to the detail page and see. Hit enter. So yeah, so right now we got our detail page. Good, we got our detail page, right? So now what I'm going to do next now is for us to add, so whenever we click on the folio, once we take it down to the home page, if I click on cleansing, I want to get down to the profile page, and if I come over and if I click on the individual block cards, I want to go over to my detail page. So let's work on that next. Okay, so right now right now we want to link for example, this logo to the home page. My name now is going to be linked to the profile page. So let's work on that. Let's just start it. So back to your nav bar. So remember in the nav bar we have in our nav bar. Yeah, if you check close now, you can see here's the folio. This is our logo. So what we're going to do is simple. We're going to simply just switch this A tag to link. So in React, it is called link and not the anchor tag in HTML. And yeah, we're going to use, and this these store attributes, this is a prop called TO. So it's going to point out to the home page, which is the /, right? So in HTML, it is called href, but in React, in HTML, it is called href, but in React, it is called to, right? So that's how we do it now. As for my username cleansing, so we're going to simply link it down to the profile page using the link tag. I'm going to say link. Right, so I'll put in my name there. And it's going to point down to our profile page. Right, so that's it. And lastly, as for the detail page, we are going to simply go down to our, to the block card components. Yeah, we're going to simply link this username. We are going to link, this title, the title of our blog. It's going to be taking us to the detail page of the blog, right? So just take this into the link components, and we have to import link from React router DOM. Import link. Hit enter. Yep. So we're going to link to the detail page. Detail. And that's it. Back here, click on the folio. We're on the home page. Click on cleansing. We're on the detail page. And if I click on this title, we are still click on any of the title, detail page, click on cleansing, profile page. So right now you're able to route between the pages. But there's one thing now. So if I click on cleansing, we have several links on the nav bar. How do I know which of the link is active? I clicked on cleansing. I can't even tell which of the link I clicked on. So I'm going to show you how to rectify this. So now back to our nav bar. Back to the nav bar. So here is cleansing. Is it here? So instead of using the link, we can use we can use NavLink instead. NavLink is also from React router DOM. You get so with NavLink you can simply identify, you can simply know which of the link is currently active. You get right. So it's called NavLink. You can know which of the link is currently active. We're going to give it a class name now. We're going to give it an active class name. So for it to work now, this is how we do it in React. So now we're going to check. We have an attribute called is active. So we are going to check if is active. If it is true, I'm going to check if it is true. I'm going to use an arrow function here. What's happening? Okay, let me just. So we're going to use an arrow function, right? Oh, there is a mix-up somewhere. So let me just write this again. It's called NavLink. We're going to say cleansing. And inside there, we're going to have a class name. So we're going to check out for the is active. We're going to check out for is active first. We're going to say is active. If is active is true. If it is true, I'm going to say if is active. If it is true, I'm going to simply put in the active class. If it is not true, we're going to just simply use an empty string there, right? So this is how we do it now. With this now, we are going to know which of the link is active with the nav link, right? So that is how we do it. This active class has been styled in our index.css. We have the style there in the index of CSS. So here's the active class. It has been styled there already. Hope you get. Here is it active. Yep. So back to my nav bar. So now here is it. Now if I come back here, you can see now. If I click on the folio, there is a mix-up. Let's see. Okay, now so right now we can see we have a sign there. If I click on the home page, so nothing is happening. Go back to the nav link. So let's add the toe prop. This should be to the profile page. So our profile page, right? So let me just, I just have to format the code by using Ctrl X. So now, right now, click on eye cleansing. Right now, it tells us that this is the active link. If I click back on the folio, right now you can see now it's gone. So that is how we should be. So once we activate the login page and the register page, if you click on it, for example, now we see how this one works. If I click on login, it shows me that login is currently the active link. If I click on register, it tells me that register is currently the active link, right? So yeah, so that's how it is. I think now that we are done with episode 3. And in episode 4, we are going to work on the light mode and the dark mode theme. So see you there.